What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. The book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below. This video is entitled Ignoring Pill Mills. I had done videos over the years on the drug epidemic, opioids, heroin, and how I felt like Afghanistan was going to war in Afghanistan and getting their opium was going to create a problem, which it did. How people was taking all these pills, and it's going to cause a problem because people was going to go from pills to the actual drugs, which happened. And made a video about who is the face of opioid drug dealers, which nobody wanted to put up. I mentioned in that a little bit that they don't want to make doctors the face of it. They don't want to make Caucasians and doctors the face of it. And talked about that in that Dope video, the Netflix series Dope, about the drug trade. So yesterday, I think it was a doctor in Pennsylvania. They wanted to make sure he didn't get reinstated because he was running a pill mill. My bad. I'm sorry. Pill mills are basically in doctors' offices where they prescribe pills. They just prescribe pills for money. Whether it's a kickback from the people for how much they're kicking out, or maybe some of them they prescribe to anybody if they get a certain, if you pay them too, you'll give a person a cash bonus. It's like drug dealing in the sense of kickbacks from big pharmaceutical companies, and drug dealing in the sense of hand to hand, I'm going to give you this much money and you're going to clear this prescription so I can go get it, So, pill mills. Backtrack. When I was in college years ago, when I came to Houston, syrup, which all of y'all know, promethazine, whatever, that cough syrup, people was always drinking it. And when I would drive to school, there would be this doctor's office near the campus, not too far from the campus, not too far from the freeway. Long lines all the time. And I'm not into drugs like that, so come to find out, from my understanding, they were giving people that cough syrup. That's why the lines were so long. People was buying pints and gallons and, pouring up in the cup, got the drink and all that stuff, back then. The bar baby and all that. People in Houston know what I'm talking about. When I say that, that's a song. But it was in that era. And after a while, they shut their joint down because there was too much traffic, But it's legal because it's a doctor's office. And so going back to there was an article about a Pennsylvania doctor who the board doesn't want to reinstate because he was running the pill mill. A couple weeks back, guy got arrested in Broward County by the DA, basically pill mill. A few weeks ago, another doctor was, I think, arrested because his pill mill killed like 500 to 700 people, and I think people ignore pill mills. Even though, because it's going to make this country, how can I say, mainstream America look bad. Because it's a form of drug dealing, but it's not looked at as drug dealing. Because these are doctors. And everything is legal. The prescription is legal. The doctor's office is legal. They're certified. The prescriptions they're giving out are legal. The drugs that they're giving out are legal. But the problem is, you know, what was the doctor that they threw in jail when Michael Jackson died? There are there are a whole lot of doctors who are just like that. I'm not gonna say that is a part of the culture because they selling pharmaceuticals, they get kickbacks. But there are a whole lot of doctors who would prescribe pills, and these pills are overlapping, and they have the little system. Because if some of y'all don't realize, you can't go into a pharmacy anymore, even a Walmart anymore, and ask for certain things. You got to go to the pharmacy to get them, because people were, if they couldn't get to the pills, if they couldn't get to the dealer, and they couldn't get their legal fix from the doctor, they was going on over the counter medicines and mixing them with things, and they got rid of that. But the doctors are never really held responsible because technically, I mean, that's between confidentiality, the doctor-patient confidentiality, they're covered by stuff like that. So the problem is you never fix the problem. Never fix the problem. Because what you going to do? You going to tell people not to go to the doctor no more? And people forget even with the opioid epidemic, fentanyl, Percocet, all that other bull. People forget about morphine. Morphine was the prerequisite to all of this, because it was like an anesthesia in a sense, anesthesia, painkiller, whatever, and used to have it on a drip, and everybody who got on it was like, oh, this feels so good. But the thing that most people didn't know about morphine it's just heroin. So when it goes out of your system, you throw up because it's heroin, and you feel sick because, when the body purges it, that's what happens. A lot of times that's what when people who are on drugs, they feel sick when they stop taking the drug because, the chills and the throwing up and all that is because your body is getting in the shock, either getting rid of it or so accustomed to it, you ain't right. And I remember this because, years ago my grandmother broke her collarbone, and if you break a collarbone, there ain't no cast for that. You just gotta let it, set and be around. And what happened was, when she stopped taking the morphine, she's like, whew. And then she's like, baby, but that stuff was good. I ain't gonna lie. And my grandmother never used drugs. She's not really a drinker or nothing like that. So, and I mean even prescription medication, unless she was forced to. She had to, because she had a form of cancer as she got older. So she did have to take certain drugs. But because of these pill mills, nobody looks at it as criminal behavior. When it's just flat out drug dealing. It's just doctors drug dealing. They getting kickbacks. And I was watching ABL, and he made me think about this thing. Like the doctor that got booted off that plane that was bleeding at the mouth. Kill me now. He had got his his license revoked for basically doing the same thing. And for some guys, it makes money. I don't think they could care if their license get revoked if they get caught because of how much they made in the interim. By the time they get reinstated, because these guys aren't looked at as criminals, they make a boatload of money, get kickbacks, and boatload of money from the patients, and then the kickbacks from the company. They sitting pretty for a couple years, few years, and then they get reinstated a few years later. And they back making money again, right? Oh, he got a bad reputation. No, they don't care. I mean, they drug dealers. They back on the block. All they former patients and the word of mouth. Oh, Dr. Such and Such back with them pill mills. We about to get it in. Even if that doctor starts doing the right thing, he's still gonna have incoming patients who's gonna hook him up. Like, think about it. How many movie references were there at like athletic movies where the doctor, give me another shot. Come on, man, just give me something for the pain. You know, and doctors was cool with it, right? You know, this is the America's drug dealing now. It's medical and pharmaceutical companies. The commercials you have in. Do you really need commercials to sell you drugs? Really? I mean, if you go into the doctor, why would you have all these recalls? If you've taken such and such and such and such, and it paralyzed you from the ear down, call this number. Because, you know, drug dealing is kind of like the crack era thing with George Bush when he put up the crack on national TV. Basically, it's a commercial for drug dealers worldwide. But pharmaceutical companies get 50 states and all the cities within it to promote their products, which basically institute the trap house at every hospital and pharmacy in America to be a pill mill, especially in this opioid era. You know, and for my people, it's different because, you know, it was already stated that one of the reasons why we're not really in the opioids like everybody else is because doctors wouldn't prescribe us those things because of their own biases and prejudices, which cool. Appreciate you. Because people have been taking all them other Xanaxes and Percocets and all that, Oxycontins, you know, that's what we're triggered from that to straight up heroin now, right? It is what it is. But to ignore the culture of pill mills is only gonna make society worse. You know, and the thing about it is, since pill mills are more so a mainstream America problem, I don't see them really putting it on Front Street and making people pay for it. There will be no doctor mandatory minimums or nothing like that, and there wouldn't be no patients who wind up getting time behind this because it's mainstream America, right? And they don't, you know, it's a pride thing to not want to look bad, to point the finger at everybody else. But now, when it's in your backyard, you don't, you know, you rather stick your head in the sand, which is gonna make the problem worse. Why I said it's gonna get worse anyway. So, I think ignoring pill mills, especially in this day and time, oh man, it's gonna be catastrophes. Yeah, whatever. We out.